First, if the title wasn't obvious enough, click off the video if you like Aglaea and you want to main her no matter what it takes. This video is clearly not for you. I said this before in the Jingyuan anti-haul, but since it's always relevant, I'll say it again. Sometimes it takes courage not to engage with something that might upset you. Okay? I'll give you 3 seconds to leave. 3, 2, 1. So recently, I asked on a community post if some of my subscribers are interested in an anti-haul style content regarding new character releases. I got 3 thumbs up, so basically that's everyone. Based on the response of the poll, I made the Jingyuan anti-haul when he reran in 2.8. You can check it out if you're interested. I'll link it in the card on the top right hand corner. The video did well, and I've decided to do another one since every single content creator hypes up characters. All must be balanced. If they hype, I will ground you to reality. Though it is very funny that I'm making another anti-haul for the Lightning DPS character. With jokes aside, I think it's important to be calm and grounded when making a decision like spending your hard-earned free pulls on a character. You aren't getting those back, and I'm sure you've regretted pulling for a character. It's a common experience. If you are even a slightly unsure whether or not you want to pull for Aglaea, you've come to the right place. This is why you shouldn't pull for Aglaea. Number 1, she's going to be mid considering she's releasing in the beginning patches of Amphorius. Tell me what happened to an early Patch DPS. Example number 1, 1.0 DPS character Zile. Example number 2, 2.0 DPS character Black Swan. See a pattern? They've fallen off. Now, I know that experienced and skilled HSR players say that Zile is still the best character ever. Though I partially agree with this sentiment, this completely ignores the fact that Zile has high highs but incredibly low lows depending on how you build her and her supports and how you use her. So yes, in my opinion, there are far more powerful characters that are easier to use and easier to build than her, so she's fallen off. On the other hand, Black Swan, well, we don't really need to discuss this any further. She's definitely fallen off because DOT has fallen off. I don't see why this wouldn't be the case for the first DPS character in the Remembrance Path. Just wait a couple patches for a better one. Number 2, words on the street say that Aglaea is going to need Sunday, her S1, and E1. So, first of all, do you have Sunday? I know a lot of people who had to choose between Fugue and Sunday because they released in the same patch. So, I'm assuming a lot of people don't have him. And my further question is, do you have Sunday's S1? Because Sunday without his S1 is really underwhelming in my personal opinion. And now that's just support for Aglaea. Let's talk about Aglaea's vertical investment. Again, her S1 and E1 seems like a requirement to play her comfortably. Are you willing to invest vertically to make her feel good to play? Otherwise, she's going to feel underwhelming. As a Jingyuan lover and a haver, I know exactly how it feels to use a character that is very clunky to play. It really isn't fun when you're actively fighting the game's mechanics to make your favorites work. In most cases, your frustration will build up faster than your affection for the character. When that happens, you will dump Aglaea with all the other characters you don't use anymore and move on. All those jades were wasted for no reason. Oh, also, do you have Ho-Ho? Because she will help a lot with energy regeneration. So, yeah, what's next? And the thing is, even if you have all these characters, one thing you should also think about is, are you even going to use them with her? Let's say you have Sunday, And let's say you have Robin, and let's say you have Ho-Ho. Don't you think that future characters will need these same characters to function properly? And when that time comes, you will need to commit which character will get these supports. And it might not be Aglaea. So just because you have Sunday and just because you have certain characters, don't feel that you will have the capacity to use them with her because they might be busy being used with other characters. Number 3, feel like you're missing out by not pulling for a Remembrance character? Well, you can use the Remembrance Trailblazer. You won't be missing out too much. I really, really promise you. I'm not pulling for Aglaea either, so I'm stuck with Remembrance Trailblazer for the time being, and it's been fine. I enjoy the new mechanic. I'm not left out. It's fine. Number 4, do you have a Lightning DPS that still works? Maybe you should keep using them if they work, okay? For instance, my King Yuan has been doing a lot better because I pulled for Sunday, so I have no desire to pull for another one. Number 5, I said this in the Jing Yuan anti-haul video, but there are other characters you might want to pull in the future. There are a lot of characters waiting to be released. For me, I am locked in for Finon, so I am definitely not pulling for the Herda or Aglaea. I know that some people are locked in for the Fate Stay Night collaboration later this year, so maybe Aglaea isn't the character you want to be blowing all your precious jades in. Always assume that your luck is going to be the worst when planning for your pulls. Always assume that you will want to pull for characters that might not be drip marketed yet, but is going to be released in the next few patches. Always assume that the character you will pull will need significant amounts of vertical investment to make them function. Saving more jades than you need is always the better option here. Number 6, I know that this is a bit personal, so some might disagree, but Aglaea has done literally nothing in the patch of 3.0 other than trying to kill the Trailblazer for causing a ruckus. I'm sure she does some things in the future and is likely to be very story significant, but right now she's basically irrelevant. Just like the Herda, they have done nothing. You don't even get to know her that well, so why pull for her? I don't even understand her motives. What if you pull for her now and then 2 patches later she turns out to be a space racist? I know that's a little bit ridiculous, but I've pulled for a character thinking that they were cool initially, but then later they turned out to be the worst. The character banners will come back. Don't give in to FOMO. Doesn't hurt to wait around to see how Euphorius' story unfolds to pull for her. Number 7. I know this is yet once again personal, but how many female characters have the same freaking design? Either a strapless or thin strap tops with exposed shoulder and back, sleeves, despite the fact that they basically have a tank top or a tube top on, etc. You don't even have to look that far back to see a similar design. The Herda has identical design as Aglaea. Now you might say, well, they look different. I agree, they look different, but all the components are the same. The Herda also has the same open back, exposed shoulders, a strapless top, and sleeves. I am literally sick and tired of the exposed shoulder and back kink guy working in the Hoyoverse character design department. Someone fire this guy. I am so confused. Why Honkai Star Rail's designs have to be so formulaic and boring when we have other Hoyoverse games that are much, much better. We deserve better. The game takes place in space, and this is the best you can give me? You can miss me with that. Well, I think that just about wraps up everything I wanted to say. I hope I convinced y'all who were on the fence about pulling Aglaea to not to pull for her. I sure am not pulling for her either, and I won't regret it one bit. Thank you for watching. See y'all next time. Take care with much love.